So hi guys and welcome back to my series of making Kush Maini a Formula 1 champion, and today for the third weekend of sprint racing we are in Austria. So let's see, can we improve something for our car? We have 700 resource points for us. Let's see. Obviously we do not want to upgrade something that does not have any discount, and we have here a minor fuel efficiency discount, and look at that guys, we are 9th in the engine department, so that's not a good news for us, which means the race coming will going to be a little worse for us, but we can still score some good points. And look at that guys, Lando Norris loses some points because the last race, if you haven't watched it, go watch it, because guys, it was such an amazing race. We overtook the half the grid twice, obviously because of a safety car which we caused. I won't tell you more about it. You can go and watch it.
Okay, mate.
On
I know
the channel.
We're expecting some new.
Let's
Hello,
go
and
into
welcome
the
back.
race.
And as you can see, the paddock is a hive of activity behind
And
us.
before that,
More
we
action,
have an
though,
interview
going on behind closed doors, because Anthony Davis said we are in the middle of silly season. There is speculation everywhere as to where the drivers will move around the grid. Tell me, from a driver's perspective, just how distracting is this?
It is a distraction, and it has been up until this point in the season, especially when you're outside of the car. But once that helmet goes on and the visor's down, it's back to business as usual, and that's when you see it all melt away. You're in the car doing what you do best. But yeah, certainly out of it, you sometimes see it boil over. Drivers have a few strong words to say to each other after some moments on track, because it is such a stressful environment.
A huge mind game for all of the drivers. We're having secretive meetings, clandestine chats. What is exactly being said, though? Give us a level of insight.
So if you're not performing, obviously, you know, we're in a very brutal world in Formula 1 where the driver's data is there on show for inside your team for all to see, and you're constantly being compared against your teammate. There's nowhere to hide. And if you're not performing, then your team boss might be looking elsewhere and might not be telling you the full story. So sometimes you seek news from elsewhere in the paddock, even from the media. They might be telling you what's really going on with inside your team, and that's very uncomfortable. And then on the flip side, if you're having a great season, you might be the one having secretive talks with other teams that are performing better than your own team.
Okay, well, we're nearly out of time, so I'm going to send you to the commentary box, and we're going to get ready for today's Grand Prix.
High up in the mountains here at Spielberg, it's time for qualifying on what will be the fastest laps of the season. Stand by for qualifying at the Austrian Grand Prix.
So into the sprint qualifying, first lap in SQ1 on those medium tires. Obviously, if you saw on the track, we have done second purple sector, which obviously that's what we can do. So rounding out the last corner using DRS, we go P2. Where has this space come from? I don't know. What have we done here? So again, we are going again on the same set of tires. After recharging our battery, we are already a 10th lower than our time here. We have, guys, I don't know how we have gained such amazing time here. We are P2 right now, and we have again gained more than 1.5 tenths. So rounding out the final corner and race to the line, and we go P2 again. Lando Norris just behind him, almost a tenth slower than him, and that's an amazing. We get a purple second sector. I don't know how has that happened. Obviously our teammate is in P13, which makes sense. We should be around P10 and P11 because that's where the car is. But I don't know how we are doing this, and again purple sector, purple lap. We are into P1 for the second time into SQ2. And it was purple second sector and purple third sector, which obviously makes sense if you think about it, because our aerodynamics is good enough, but Our teammate is also doing a good job here. He is into P10. So we have good cars to get some points here too. So can we do it? Obviously SQ3, we will only get one soft tires and we have to use it properly. So starting our final and one and only lap into SQ3 into turn 1, taking it a little better than we want, and we have a little bit of a traffic because look at that, guys. Everyone is going out trying to do another lap on these soft tires, but we are here and Max Verstappen almost blocked us there, but we are well enough to think that we have to go around it. And look at that, guys. I think that's Fernando Alonso. Yep, that was Alonso. We have properly dispatched of him and we are now into turn 4 and we go a little bit wide and we have spun. And these mistakes happen, guys. So we do not have much time to think about if we want to go on another lap, which I think we will have to do. So we do not have much charge here, 50% ERS charge, so we have to go again. Obviously 128 for this lap. So into turn 1, can we get good enough? Because it looks like we had pace to get into the top 3, top 4, so we will have to at least get into P7, P8, because that's where I think we can still get. So rounding out the last 2 corners here, 21 seconds gained. Obviously it was a really awful lap. So race to the line and we are finishing this lap. Let's see where it's going to be, and we are P5. We are P5. That's, I think, a good lap considering we did not have much. Look at that. We were those 6 seconds, 6/10 slower than Max Verstappen. So guys, let's just go into the race.
It's wet here today and we're expecting those downpours to continue. This will make for a difficult sprint for all the teams. It's a short lap here in Spielberg with just 10 corners, 7 to the right and 3 to the left, making up the total distance of 2.6 miles. And expect to see a lot of cars running wide today, especially through the last corner, as the wet conditions make the cars skittish through the downhill sections. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday and he'll start from pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Oscar Piastri, Leclerc, Maini, Sainz, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Stroll, Gasly, Magnussen, Bottas, Hamilton, Tsunoda, Norris, Albon, Sargent, Hulkenberg, Joe, and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And alongside me here today in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. Look, we know it's not where you start, it's where you finish, but let's talk about the start now. What's there to help the drivers get away well?
Big pressure at the start of the race, Crofty, for all of them up and down the grid, no matter where you are. But the drivers these days, they practice, practice and practice. They have rigs with them at the circuit where they can sit down with the actual steering wheel from the real car, and they've got lights that they react to. The clutch paddle is tailored around the driver's hands, around their fingers, so they can have optimum position before they start. So there's so much thought and effort that goes into getting these cars off the line.
So into the race, it's wet. And obviously, as I've told you guys, wets does not suit me. So we are going on those inter tires. Obviously, they will get better as the race progresses because the rain is going to get lower and lower. So formation, grid position is taken. So 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are going for the sprint race of Austria. And Max Verstappen leading the race. We get up a little worse start here, and look at that, Sainz overtakes, and into turn 1 we have overtaken everyone. And we are right now P4, and look at that, guys. There is no way we can put any power here. If we try to put any power here, we get a really bad tank slapper. So Piastri, P2, Charles Leclerc into P3 and P4 fighting Piastri. And look at that, guys. We have already lost to P6, and Alonso has already overtaken us. But into braking for turn 3, we are not going to let this one by. But we get up really big. Again, a slide, and because of that, Perez has overtaken us. Alonso was obviously behind us. And look at that, guys. Piastri, Charles Leclerc into turn 4. Piastri through the outside, trying to get, holding his position into P3. But Charles Leclerc does not let him do that. And Charles Leclerc overtakes Piastri. But he tried to go side by side into turn 6. Turn 5. And Charles Leclerc has finally overtaken Oscar Piastri. And look at that, guys. We are struggling right now on the first lap. We are right now P9, and it's going to be a long race, guys. This is going to be a long race. And in lap 2 here, George Russell going side by side, but we throw the inside, make a little bit of a dive bomb, and George Russell, look at that, he is obviously on the racing line, and because of that he got really amazing exit. And sorry, it was Lewis Hamilton. And lap 3 into turn 1, we are right now we are trying to stay with any of these guys, because once in 2-3 laps, when the rain gets a little lower, we can do something in this race still. So we are not going to get disheartened right now. We are going to just grit our teeth and push forward, because guys, I know as the laps go by, we are getting more used to the inter tires, and because of that we are gaining a little bit extra pace here. And look at that, guys. Lando Norris is into P12. He is not really going to be happy, considering he is fighting in a championship with Max Verstappen, who is right now leading the race. So, and that's not something you want to see, guys. That's not something you want to see. Why, guys?
Forecasts suggest the rain's going to be lightening up over the next 10 to 15 minutes or so.
That's not going to matter for us, because we are out of the race, guys. We are out of the race. Obviously, Austria, where we go a little better than all of the tracks, and we could have scored some good points even in this race, and we are out of the sprint race. Obviously, it would have been a little difficult to do something, but still, guys, we had a good chance to at least score some good position at least, and it was taken away from us because we are now out of this race. So, Max Verstappen obviously P1, Fernando Alonso got into P2, George Russell into P3. What happened? And look at that, guys, our teammate ended his race into P15. Guys, I don't know what to say. The only thing we can say is, let's go into the real qualifying of this race. But look at that, obviously I still can't get into this, but let's go into the qualifying first of all, because look at that. Experience lost, racecraft lost, focus lost, pace lost. Let's just go into the qualifying. Obviously, I do not want to talk about data anymore. At least 76 rated for this race, and which component it was? I think it was the gearbox, which was still in 80%. It does not make sense, guys. It does not make sense. I think we do not want to take any risk this time, so we are going all new components. So guys, let's just go into the qualifying.
The mountains here at Spielberg, it's time for qualifying on what will be the fastest laps of the season. Stand by for qualifying at the Austrian Grand Prix.
So into the qualifying, first lap here into Q1, rounding out the final corner. Let's see, a 1.65, and we go P2. We again go P2. Obviously, we are going to save some ERS now, and we are going to push again. But first, let's go into the back here, and look at that, Max Verstappen just thrashing everyone here, because he was 5 tenths faster than us. Obviously, we did not go for another lap because we knew we could easily get into Q2, and our teammate is also into Q2, so that's a good news. Well, technically it's not a good news for us because we want to push him as much as we can, but let's see. We go P4 again, but we have to go out again, guys, because we are now P6. Obviously people will keep on improving, and that lap was obviously on a used set of soft tires, which I think I do not have any confidence in. So final lap into Q2, sorry, we are not gaining any time here, and again getting a little bit of a tank slapper. Even after that, we have at the end here gained at least 2 turns. Obviously the final sector was where I lost a little bit of time in the first lap, so almost 4 turns gained here. Race to the line, obviously that's a big improvement in Austria, and we go P2. We again go P2, so that's an amazing lap. Can't say anything other than that, and our teammate is in P9. So we are right now replicating our teammate Pierre Gasly. Obviously he had an amazing pace in Spain like that, but we are right now, we have that pace in Austria obviously. So Q3 first lap here on a used set of soft tires. We will have to prove ourselves to get some good position here, because we can do that, and it's a purple first sector, which do not make sense considering we are ninth in our engine, but we are obviously, I used all of my battery into the first part of the lap. So second sector done here. We are not letting this one go, and I know even though this is a banker lap, we can still do some good here, because that's why I'm pushing 100% as much as we can. Second sector also purple, and we get a little bit of a tank slap here, and we are going to lose all the time till turn 9. So now braking again into the last corner. Can we get at least good enough some position here? So race to the line, and we go P2, 5 turns slower than Max Verstappen. Obviously Max Verstappen has a crazy level of pace, and we did not go again, guys. Obviously it was because this wasn't a banker, guys. This was the only lap we had, only soft tires we had for this race. And look at that, we ended our qualifying into P2, Max Verstappen P1. So let's go into the race.
Another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Kush Maini lines up on pole position, and Fernando Alonso completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Sainz, Verstappen, Stroll, Gasly, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Russell, Hamilton, Albon, Perez, Norris, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Joe, and Logan Sargent. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And alongside me today, a man who I'm always pleased to see join me in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Now, sadly, things didn't work out for them last time. It was a bad race. Question is, though, can they recover today?
Yes, they can, Crofty. You've got to put it behind you. Whatever happened last time, I was always told as a driver, park it, forget about it. Obviously, feel the pain when it happens, but then you can't dwell on it and carry that through to the next race. So put it behind you and just crack on with this race coming your way now.
So into the race, we are starting from pole, guys, because Max Verstappen has taken a 5-place grid penalty. So that's a good news for us. We can do some craziness in this race. So formation lap 0.2 meter, everything's going our way in this race right now. So 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we go from pole in the Austria GP, getting a good exit here. Alonso already behind us, and Charles Leclerc fight. These two are fighting themselves. Look at that. Into turn 1. Charles Leclerc, Alonso fights, but Charles Leclerc has overtaken Alonso. Piastri and Sainz are still fighting here. Max Verstappen in P6. He has not gained any position, and into turn 1. Look at that. Max Verstappen is in still P6. Charles Leclerc, Alonso going side by side. Still, they are going to go till the end of turn 4. Still side by side, using belt drag race through the turn 4 and into the braking for turn 4. Inside line for Charles Leclerc. He tries to overtake, almost pushing Alonso onto the gravel tap, but Alonso is not going to let this one, guys. And into the braking through the inside. Alonso has overtaken Charles Leclerc and reclaimed his position into P2. We are here enjoying this without any problem. 6 tenths in front of these guys, obviously. I know that, guys, that we are going to get overtaken in 5 or 6 laps, because we have a little higher rear wing than these guys. So obviously I know. So lap 2 here, Charles Leclerc, well, he does not get DRS, but he overtakes, because obviously the DRS is not open. DRS opens now. Every one of these guys gets DRS, and into turn 3, into braking, Charles Leclerc overtakes Alonso, but Alonso comes back. Both of these guys, DRS is open, but Charles Leclerc, obviously in a Ferrari, a little better car than Alonso, overtakes him. Alonso almost got overtaken by Piastri, but Piastri is still into P4. And look at that, we just did a fastest lap and a 10th faster by Charles Leclerc. And because, guys, we are in an overall pace, we are faster, but on a straight line we are slower than these guys. And that's why I know these guys might be able to overtake us. And look at that, because Charles Leclerc, he got a really good pace there, and I think he got out by how early or how late I broke. And because of that, Charles Leclerc wasn't able to overtake us on this lap, but he will obviously try to overtake us again, and we are not going to fight it too much, because, guys, he is not in our in our race. And I know that obviously I'm hoping to get at least P6 or P7. That's what I'm mostly hoping for, because I know, guys, look at that, lap 5 into turn 1 with the help of DRS, Charles Leclerc overtakes us. Obviously it makes sense, guys, much faster car, but we will get DRS here and we will come back here, even though we know it's futile. But into turn 3, into braking, we tried to overtake Charles Leclerc but wasn't able to do. Charles Leclerc, obviously on the racing line, was able to get a really good exit, and he is now shot up in front of us, but Alonso is not letting us by. But into turn 4, into braking, we are not letting Alonso overtake us that easily. So lap 5 here, we are still in front of these guys, which is, in my opinion, I must tell you, I am also surprised by that, because it's really difficult to stay in front of these guys. I think I'm using a little too much tire than these guys, so I will have to save. And we have a red engine. We shouldn't have that. We shouldn't have that, guys. Not again. Not again. We just had new parts. We just had new parts, guys. I just don't get it. Why? Why? And that too in a race where I knew I can, score much more points than our teammate Pierre Gasly. What a joke. I did not even want to get out of the pits after this, obviously. I am pissed. I decided to get into the pits so that we can retire out of the race. Obviously, these guys did not want us to retire in the pits. I don't know, guys, what to say. Look at that, guys. Everyone's in front of us. Max Verstappen is now into P5. Charles Leclerc is leading the race. We are in P20. 29 seconds behind these guys. Obviously, I still don't get it why we do not retire there. But we have retired here. I just don't know what to say at this point, guys. That hurts. That hurts a lot because obviously, guys, if it had happened in Miami, China, it wouldn't have hurt that much because, guys, this is where I had a lot of pace against our teammate. Obviously, we might be able to do something in the next race, which is British GP, but it still hurts. So, guys, let's just see the podium celebrations first.
And 3 wins in a row now, of course, Croft. You've thrown the gauntlet down. The drivers are out there now. They realise that they are the target. They're the ones to beat. They've got the energy, they've got the momentum on their side.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they've secured here.
So Max Verstappen has won this race. I don't know how he has pulled that, which I don't think it's not really a big deal, because if you think about it, he has to only overtake 4 cars, which isn't really that difficult. But obviously I am pissed. And look at that, guys. The amazing one is Lando Norris, because he was P13. Look at that, he was P16, sorry, P15. He also had penalties, but he was able to gain 14 positions. Obviously, we gained 1 to him, which hurts too. And look at that, guys, Pierre Gasly also scored 2 points in the race. That hurts the most because we could have at least gotten P5, P6, guys, and we could at least get some good position here, but obviously can't do anything. And look at that, we have lost our rating too, and because of that our recognition will be hurt a little bit too. So if you are watching these videos, guys, you are enjoying them, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you for the next one. I don't know when, but I will see you.